The relatively unknown Joubertspoort is a 12.8 kilometre long farm road close to Montague in the Western Cape and well worth exploring. The route consists of a combination of rough two-spur track as well as some good quality gravel road. In essence, it's a combination of a pass and a poort. Although the average gradient is a mild 1 in 30, there are one or two short sections in the 4x4 part of this poort which reach gradients as steep as 1 in 5. The first part of the northern section is strictly for 4x4 vehicles only, with good ground clearance as well as low range. It provides magnificent views in complete tranquility and isolation. The southern section takes you past quaint little farm labourers' cottages, flanked by green orchards and pastures, towards the exit of the poort, from where it's a quick drive into Montague. The starting point is off the Oberg Pass, and this road is quite difficult to find, so you'll need to probably mark it on your GPS. You'll immediately notice that the road that you're about to drive is quite narrow, and the starting area is peppered with thorn trees. Small 4x4s can maneuver around these thorn trees, but the bigger SUVs and longer bakkies will have a high probability of picking up scratches. But don't let this put you off. Rather travel with a pair of long-handled secateurs and prune the offending branches as you proceed through the first 200 meters, after which the thorn trees disappear. The road now dips through two usually dry riverbeds via a small S-bend, then climbs out of the ravine and swings through 80 degrees to the right and begins a long but gentle climb up the valley, keeping to the southern side and heading due west most of the time. Due to the rough nature of the track, speed needs to be kept quite low, and most vehicles will need to be in first high range or second or third low range. Here and there you'll come across minor obstacles and rough patches, but in the main the drive is not much more than a grade 1 at any stage. Before starting this route, we strongly recommend doing tyre deflation. Take your tyres down to between 1.2 and 1.4 bar. This will greatly improve traction and therefore your safety. Additional benefits include the reduction in risk of getting a puncture, as well as making the ride more comfortable for you and your passengers. Once you get into the southern section of the pass and the road conditions improve, remember not to exceed 80 km per hour, as this could result in tyres overheating and a blowout. Going back to the early 1800s, the town of Montague was cut off from the main track routes due to the seemingly impenetrable nature of Kochmanskloof, and it wasn't until Thomas Paine built the pass and the tunnel that trade began to develop in the area. After 1.1 kilometers, you'll arrive at a closed farm gate. Open it and close it behind you. Continue heading west, as the road can be seen a long way ahead, climbing steadily towards a low point in the mountains. There's a wonderful sense of isolation here, as there hardly any signs of civilization can be seen, with the big mountains closing in on both sides of the road. In 1841, Montague was laid out on the farm Uitvlucht, and in 1852, John Montague, the colonial secretary of the Cape, visited the infant town. By 1855, the first school was opened, and 2 years later a contract was signed for the building of a church designed by George Burkett. In 1873, the Montague Hot Springs began charging a tikkie for using the baths. Their use obviously goes back in time immemorial, with traces of early man having been found in the nearby caves. The importance of the baths to the general public is reflected in the conditions written into the title deeds. In 1877, Thomas Paine built the tunnel and the new road through Kochmanskloof. This is the oldest road tunnel in South Africa. Between 1902 and 1985, the Brink Brothers enterprises were of major significance to the town. Their activities included general dealers, bottling works, a canning factory, dried fruit production, as well as a department store. Montague banknotes were printed and issued from 1861 to the demise of the bank in 1868. The bank was in the building now occupied by the attorneys on Bath Street. Samples of the old notes are on display there. The road now reaches a small undulating plateau, and a deep ravine appears on the left, which the road skirts. Be sure to watch part 2 of Joubertspoort.